Hello everyone and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. Today I've got a special treat for you. This game is Atlantis Rising. This is one of my top 10 co-op games. I love this game so much and I'm so bummed it is out of print. So if you're one of those people that hate watching a playthrough of a game and then you can't find it for a reasonable price, don't watch this game, okay? There's a very good chance you won't be able to find this for less than 150 bucks plus. I got so lucky to get a copy of this, and that's why I want to show you guys it in case you're able to find a copy, or maybe you know somebody that has a copy, you might want to try it because it is wonderful. I'm also doing something kind of fun. So Baker from Board Online, Board Offline, I was watching one of his videos and he had mentioned how he had never got to play this game, Atlantis Rising, and really wanted to try it. So I sent him a note saying, hey, well, I'll do a playthrough and then let me just ship it over to you and you can try it and you can put a playthrough on. Well, he said, oh, that's a great idea, but what if we did something called a board game exchange? And so we're going to start doing this, and kind of curious to hear your guys' feedback. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this playthrough. I'm going to then ship this over to him. He's going to do a playthrough, and then he's going to ship this back with a game from his collection. And then I'll get to do a playthrough of that game, and we can keep going back and forth, and it'll be kind of this cool board game exchange a thing that we're doing. And maybe we might even get some more people involved. Like I'm thinking of contacting Doug or Paul Darcy, somebody. You know, it'd be fun because that way you don't have to keep buying all these games. We can, pass the love around. Let me know what you think. But I think that'll be a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy the playthrough. Just like normal, this will be our setup video. And then the video below will be the playthrough. If you just want to jump there, feel free. Otherwise, hang out and let's set it up. Let's first talk about the objective of Atlantis Rising. What we need to do is build the 10 components of the Cosmic Gate to be able to teleport ourselves off of this island before the island sinks. So how do we do this? Well, let's first set it up and then we'll show you through the playthrough. So first you'll want to get all the different individual pieces of the board. So there's these different pieces that have two sides. One is flooded, the other side is not flooded. You'll start out on all of the non-flooded sides. And there are 6 different areas where you're going to be able to place your workers. You've got the meadows, the forests, the libraries, the city. I said that, okay, I'm getting it wrong. Sorry. Meadows, forests, libraries, cities, forges, mountains. Yeah, I did that right. And then inside of here, you can go here to get additional mana crystals. Okay, so you'll want to set this board up, and what you're going to be doing is you're going to be putting your people, your workers, on these different action spots. Each one has 3 or 1 or 2 depending on where they are on the island. But then what's going to happen is each round more of these tiles are going to flip over and become flooded, and so we'll have less and less action spaces as the game goes. Next, you want to separate out all the resources. So there's going to be gold, crystal, ore, and Atlantium. You're going to be using these throughout the game to be able to build the specific components of the Cosmic Gate. Now you may be asking, Colin, what are these? These are kind of cool. Well, I just recently got my Game Anywhere table. This table actually folds up and I can move it around, and it's specifically a gaming table. It's awesome. I'm going to do this playthrough and a bunch of other ones on here. So if ever you are curious about getting one, I'll put a link below. You can actually get this table outside of a Kickstarter. I did the Kickstarter, but you can get it outside of it. And it comes with these, and these are magnetic, so they actually stick to the table. It's really cool. Next, you want to shuffle up the knowledge cards and the flood cards. So because we're going to play a 4-player game, each round will draw 4 flood cards and we'll flood 4 tiles, or maybe even more, depending. And so what they'll say is something like, oh, flood libraries, or let's see, this one, rioting and looting. So this is an event. So sometimes you'll have events that do certain things. Okay. And then in here, these knowledge cards, this is where you go to the library and you obtain knowledge cards, and they're going to give you awesome benefits. Place a mystic barrier token on any tile. Oh, cool. And that protects the tile. So these are going to be the 2 card decks you'll use. The Cosmic Gate will always have 10 components that you have to build in order to escape Atlantis. You will always use, no matter which difficulty, this power cork, so you need to power it up. They will tell you the name of whatever the specific unit is that you're creating. So we'd be creating the power core. It gives you a benefit when you build it, gain 3 mystic energy, and then it tells you what it costs to build. So it's going to cost 2 crystals, 2 gold, and 2 Atlantium. It's kind of a lot. Then, depending upon the difficulty, you'll choose 3 of 3 different types of cards. So A's are the easiest, all the way to D's are the hardest. I'm going to play on the second to hardest difficulty because I think I told you guys I haven't lost this game yet, but that was before, that was when I did that top 10 or top 30 list for co-ops. I have now lost this, but I've only lost it once. So I like to do the B, C's, and D's. Let's get rid of the simple A's. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle these up and grab 3 of each. So let's just see. We'll do this D, the temporal keyhole, this D, light drive, and this D, cosmic codex. Cool. Then we'll grab, for the C's, we'll do the entropy drive, the control pod, and the targeting spire. Oh, cool. And then for the 3 B's, we'll do an upside down one. There we go. The magnetic replicator, the subatomic semaphore, and the astral watchtower. So we'll have all 10 of these. We need to build these to be able to win the game. I've placed all 10 out here, and this is called the blueprint. And we can build these in any order. The only thing that you have to know is you can only build 1 a round. So even if I had the goods to be able to build this magnetic replicator and the subatomic semaphore, I can only build 1 a round. This game is a 1 to 6 player game. I'm going to play with 4 characters. So the 2 I'm not using are the astrologer and the champion. But what I am going to use is the scholar. So her ability is whenever you draw 1 or more knowledge cards, you may either draw 1 additional card or keep 1 additional card. And you'll see how that works in the playthrough. The priest, very simple. You gain 1 mystic energy at the start of each turn. That is such a useful ability though. The explorer, probably my favorite one. All target numbers to collect resources are reduced by 1 for you. Because in this game, although overall it's kind of like a Euro, because you're collecting resources, you're converting them and buying things, you still have to roll a die to see if you're successful. That's a terrible roll. And so there is also a little bit of luck in this game, which I really, really like. Last, we have the artificer. So her ability is awesome. Whenever you build a component, choose one of these 2 benefits. Pay 1 less resource to build that component, or receive the component's benefit an additional time. That is sweet. Each one of these will receive their 3 starting workers. Now, you have a total of 6 workers, so that's why you can go to the city to get more workers. But you start with 3. And you all will start, since I'm not playing on the cosmic difficulty, just because I'm doing a video, and so it's hard enough to try and do all the camera angles and everything. It's hard for me to strategize as well. So I am going to play on the second hardest difficulty, so we all start with a mystic energy. The hardest is no mystic energy to start with as well. You would think it's enough to have to deal with an island that is collapsing. But no, the Athenians are attacking the Atlanteans. And if there's one thing I have to say about this game, Athenians, Atlanteans, and Atlantium, oh my gosh, too many names that are similar. But that's okay. So these are the Athenians that are attacking us. We'll use this board, and each round, the Athenians are going to get stronger, all the way until they get up to this 12 plus. And how this works is, so since we're playing with 4 plus players, we put the ship right here. This is the Athenian ship. And each round, we will roll this die, and whatever number we get, we'll add to wherever the ship is at. So let's say the ship was at a 3. 3 plus 2 is a 5. Then we have to compare that to the amount of workers that we have on this ship. And if we have 5 or more, and I shouldn't say on the ship, but on this space, if we have 5 or more workers here, we're safe. But if we only had 1 worker here and we had a total of 5 for the attack value of the Athenians, we would have to flood 4 tiles for that difference. Now that's how the regular game works, but there is a variant on BGG that I really, really like that I am going to use. You can actually download the cards online, print them out for free. I cannot remember for the life of me what this variant is called, but we're going to use it. I'll put it in the link below. And what we do here is instead of having just our Atlanteans just sit, or our Atlanteans sit here and you just count the differences. We have these ships, okay? And these ships we have to place our workers into. Now they give us benefits, but they also can hurt us. For example, this tidal wave conduits, we can put one blue worker here, let's say, and one yellow worker here. We now have a 5 for our fight value. And so if the Athenians roll a 5 or less, we're fine. But since we put somebody in the first part of this boat, we must now flood one tile. Oh, so you have to kind of bear that in mind and think, okay, how am I going to use these ships? Over here, this one, you can see the first one that goes on here, if we put a worker here, it's actually worth 0. But the second one, the second person that we put in here, will get to roll a die. And if we roll a 4+, they get to decide if they want a gold, a crystal, or an ore. So it can actually help you get more resources in a different way. There are a bunch of different ships in here, and so each round we'll draw 2 of them, and then we will use those to fight the Athenians. The 2 rules are for these is 1, you can't have in one boat 2 of the same color. Also, you can't fill a boat from the bottom first. So I can't go like this. I have to have workers on the front part of the boat first before we get to the back part. And consider these just individual boats. So I'd have to go like this to be able to fill that one for 5. I couldn't just complete this one by going like that and going, oh yeah, I have 6. No, that doesn't work. Once the boat is empty in the front, and none of those below them work. Last thing to note here is if ever you have the most workers that you've put here to fight the Athenians, you get to obtain a courage token. These courage tokens are awesome. If you place a worker with a courage token here, they count as an additional 1. So instead of this being 3, this would be worth 4. You also can use a courage token and place a worker on somewhere on the island. And if that island tile sinks, they still get to perform their action even though the tile sunk before they could technically do their action because they were courageous and grabbed that whatever resource before the island sunk for that specific location. You'll see how it works in the playthrough. And that is the setup for Atlantis Rising. I hope you guys are excited for this playthrough. I love this game, so I'm just going to have so much fun with this. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.